Oh boy, would you look at the time. It's half past patch notes o'clock, and right on time, Ubisoft has released the Year 5 Season 4 mid-season patch notes, and oof, do we have a lot to talk about. We have a whole load of operator changes, from major ones that will change how they play, to more gadget changes and things like that. And as always, we get to have our favourite conversation about how removing a grip or a scope from an operator's gun isn't actually a proper way of balancing an operator. So, hello internet, my name is Nebulous, let's jump into it.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
Before we get into today's video, if you go on to enjoy it, please consider leaving a rating down below to let me know that you guys are enjoying this kind of content, and if you're feeling extra nice today, maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you. So first off, we're getting some pretty major changes to the attackers, the best of which is that Zofia is finally losing her withstand ability, because to be frank, it made absolutely no sense to begin with. Zofia is also losing her reduced resistance to concussive effects, like Ela mines. These changes are coming as a result of Ubisoft removing some hidden mechanics that are not explicitly explained in-game. This is the same reason for Ela losing her ability to explode a concussion mine when she's downed. These changes, and particularly the reasoning for these changes, is really welcomed and shows that hopefully in the future, Ubisoft will stay away from creating gameplay elements and operator mechanics based on an operator's lore or backstory, and will focus on including gameplay elements for operators that are, well, gameplay features, not just, oh, if you got some bad history, that's why she has withstand. Makes no sense. I'm glad it's gone. Zofia is also receiving one more change alongside Ash. The explosion damage radius of Zoph's lifeline and Ash's breaching rounds is being reduced to 2 meters from 3 meters and 3.5 meters respectively. I don't personally see this change affecting much, to be honest. Both of these gadgets are very point launcher at thing, shoot thing, and as long as they're both still able to destroy things like bandit batteries and mute jammers on walls from below, I'm pretty okay with these changes. The only other notable operator changes we're receiving with the new patch are Lion and Buck trading their secondary gadgets. So Buck will now have access to his flashbangs and a hard breaching device, while Lion will have a claymore and whatever Lion's other gadget was. Again, I don't see this change making much of an impact on Buck's playstyle in the same way that the hard breach charge affected Lion. I think you're more than likely going to want to continue taking flashbangs on Buck over the maybe very situational use of the hard breach charge, mainly because Buck's role in a team is a utility clearer, being able to open up a bomb site and clearing utility like Wamai discs, Aruni gates, and ADSs for your team. I don't foresee really any situations where you need the hard breach charge or even want it over having the flashbangs, especially with all of the available hard breaches and the reworked Habana this season. Your hard breach charge needs can be filled super easily by any of the plethora of operators. The reason the hard breach gadget was good on Lion though, was that Lion filled that flex role of an attacking lineup thanks to his EE1D, and having the hard breach secondary gave him a well-rounded kit that made him able to split push on the map effectively. The issue of Buck having the hard breach secondary is that Buck doesn't really fill the same hole in the lineup that a Lion would. You're never going to be bringing him over the sledge because of the lack of frag grenades, and if you are bringing a Buck on your lineup, it's going to be because you want him to play with your sledge, Ash or Zofia, to be able to perform soft destruction and burn catching devices so that someone with explosives can destroy the defender's utility. Outside of these more major changes though, there's a couple of other operators receiving more minor changes. Echo for one is having his yokai drone buffed slightly so that the yokai now has slightly faster mobility, being able to jump on a 2-second cooldown from 3 seconds, and the length of the time that the yokai sticks to the roof when it fails to attach is being reduced from 2 seconds down to 0.5 seconds. As well as we mentioned, Ela also losing her random hidden mechanics, like the extra concussion mine when she's downed, as well as her reduced resistance to concussion effects. However, the real meat and potatoes, the real big dog changes, Ubisoft are finally taking action and reworking Mira and Melusi. They've recognized how often these two get banned and how strong they are in both ranked and competitive play, and have finally taken action, and I'm delighted, over the moon, overjoyed to tell you that Mira is losing her 1.5x scope and Melusi is losing her angled grip. I know, I can barely believe it either. It's so nice to see Ubisoft finally listening to the... Oh no, wait, hold on. This just in. Apparently these changes are seemingly pointless, and to add, weapon attachments are an ineffective way to balance strong operators, and in fact, do very little, if anything, to affect how strong both Mira and Melusi are in the current meta. These two changes are as a result of both Mira and Melusi's incredibly high ban rate, with Mira's ban rate continuing to be shockingly high at 73%, and Melusi at a high of 43%. Now, to Ubisoft's credit, before I flame them too much, with Melusi at least, they do mention in these patch notes that a rework or at least adjustments to Melusi's gadgets is being worked on. Unfortunately, that does mean that they aren't going to take any action to nerf Melusi for now, even as simple as just reducing the number of banshees she has from 3 down to 2. However, they don't mention anything about a rework for Mira, an operator who's been, I believe, the most banned defender since Pick and Ban was released into Ranked, on the logic that Mira is an incredibly strong, incredibly influential operator whose black mirrors can be the center point of a strong defense. The community's had many ideas in the past, from making her mirrors 2 ways so the attackers can see through them, as well as trying to just simply remove one of the mirrors from her kit so she only has 1. Either way, the community at large realizes that Mira needs some kind of rework to make a meaningful change, and that doesn't mean just removing her 1.5x scope, because funnily enough, anyone that's half decent at the game will land the same shots with a 1x as anything with higher magnification. As I said though, at least with Melusi, Ubisoft are acknowledging that she's a very strong operator and are said that they were looking at making changes to her. I can only hope the same goes for Mira. Anyway, that about wraps up the mid-season patch notes for Year 5 Season 4. I was going to talk about the pick and win and ban rate operator graphs for this season in this video, but seeing as there's quite a lot to go over and there's a lot I want to talk about, I'm going to do the scummy YouTuber move and make a separate video that will be out sometime in the next 5 to 6 business days. So stay tuned for that, because it's going to be a spicy one. In the meantime, if you enjoy the content I create here, please consider subscribing. I've started streaming occasionally over here on my YouTube channel versus my Twitch page, so if you want to see more of my face, be sure to ring the notification bell so you don't miss when I go live and post new videos. If that's not enough for you though, and you want to join the community, feel free to jump into our Discord to meet and talk with like-minded Siege players like yourselves. You can, as always, find the links for the aforementioned in the description down below, and as always, until next time.